that there are a number of financial institutions, markets, intermediaries, and services which together constitute the formal Indian financial system. When we talk about the regulatory institutions in the Indian economy, at the apex, at the forefront, we have RBI as the supervisor regulator for the financial institutions and financial system as a whole, and then SEBI specifically is the regulator for the financial markets. So let's discuss the role played by each of them. We start with RBI. So RBI, all of you know, is the central bank and is currently headquartered in Mumbai. Can someone tell me where did initially RBI start? In which state or city was RBI incorporated? कौन से ईयर में आरबीआई बना था? No one knows. Before, prior to Mumbai, where was RBI located? Yes, Sachin, you're right. It started in Calcutta, and then later it was shifted to Mumbai. It was incorporated in 1935, but nationalized in 1949, and then it was declared as the regulator of the Indian banking system. All of you are well aware of who the RBI governor is. He is Mr. Shaktikanta Das, and then you also have four deputy governors of RBI. Now, RBI is the central bank, and hence it plays a very important role right from managing the monetary policy, issuing currency, managing forex, supervising other banks. All these functions come under the purview of RBI. This is what the organizational structure of RBI looks like. The central board has four local boards. Now, there is a central board of directors and there are four local boards situated in each of the metropolitans. So, Mumbai, Kolkata, New Delhi, and Chennai. Then, at the forefront, you have the governor, then the deputy governor, executive governors. And apart from that, RBI is also running training establishments and has a central office department. So this is just to give you an idea of what is the structure of working of RBI. Let's come to the functions of RBI. Now, issue of bank notes. Now, RBI is responsible for the printing of all paper currency except for rupee 1 notes, which, as mentioned on the slide, they are issued by the Finance Ministry. Are rupee 1 notes still being printed? They are in circulation, but they are no longer being printed. ओके तो अभी 1 रुपी 2 रुपी इनके नोट्स वैलिड हैं पर अभी ये प्रिंट नहीं हो रहे. If I talk about the denomination of paper currency, it's starting from 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, and then 1000. Sorry, 2000. Also, what should be known is कि RBI is authorized to print currency up to a denomination of 10,000. Obviously, currently 10,000 is not being printed, but there was a time when 10,000 rupee note was also in circulation. But then again, demonetization took place and 10,000 was removed out of circulation. Okay, so RBI is issuing bank notes. Any idea who is minting coins? Is RBI minting coins also? Yes, very good, Piyush. It is the government of India which is directly responsible for minting of coins. So जो करेंसी नोट्स होते हैं वो प्रिंट होते हैं और कॉइन्स जो होते हैं वो मिंट होते हैं. So, since the minting of coins comes under a separate act, which is the Coinage Act, तो जो coins हैं, they are the responsibility of Government of India. And again, RBI takes the responsibility of distribution of the coins. So, first and foremost function of RBI is that it is responsible for issuance of banknotes. Now, obviously, while issuing banknotes, RBI is keeping certain things in mind, that there should be uniformity and security of the notes. All this is the responsibility of RBI. After that, the next major function is that it is a banker to the government. So, all receipts of the government, whatever revenue the government is generating, whatever payments the government has to make, they are done through RBI. Then it is the custodian of cash reserves of commercial banks. So all of us know that commercial banks have to maintain CRR with the central bank, that is RBI, and that is being, all those reserves are being handled as a custodian, that is in good faith. Then the forex reserves of the country are also managed by RBI. The RBI is a custodian there also. Next is central clearance and accounts settlement. So all the clearance system of the banking institutions is moving through the RBI. RBI is keeping a record of the functioning of all commercial banks in India. Then controller of credit, again self-explanatory. मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी आरबीआई हैंडल कर रही है. मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी में सबसे पहला फंक्शन ही होता है टू रेगुलेट द फ्लो ऑफ क्रेडिट इन द इकोनॉमी, एंड देन ऑन क्वार्टरली बेसिस आरबीआई रिव्यूज द सिचुएशन इन द इकोनॉमी and accordingly upgrades the monetary policy. So, like we said yesterday, we were talking about CRR. CRR is 3% right now. What about SLR, statutory liquidity ratio? What is the norm right now? What is the percentage of SLR which banks need to maintain? How do you define statutory liquidity ratio? Now, these terms are repeated multiple times in the class. What is SLR? Yuvraj, just unmute yourself and explain, one of you. Yes, Yuvraj.
Ma'am, it's the minimum
Yes.
percentage of deposits that any bank has to keep in form of liquidity. It can be cash, gold, or
Yeah.
any securities.
Yeah, and cash और नियर कैश फॉर्म में जो भी मिनिमम परसेंटेज बैंक को अपने पास लिक्विड फॉर्म में रखनी पड़ती है, इट इज द स्टैट्यूटरी लिक्विडिटी रेशियो, एंड करंटली द रेट इज 18%. Okay, CRR is the, then what is CRR? Yes, anyone? Yes, Muskan, what is CRR? Yes, Sachin, आप explain करो.
Ma'am, it's the minimum amount of deposit that every bank has to kept with them, according to the regulation by RBI.
Yes, so absolutely correct. It is the minimum percentage which every bank has to keep in form of time and demand deposits, basically percentage of funds which the bank has to keep with RBI. So that is 3% right now. Then what about repo rate?
Ma'am,
What
I
about,
lost in between.
yes,
Should I?
Muskan, you were saying something. थोड़ा सा loudly बोलना बेटा.
Yes, ma'am. So CRR is the minimum cash reserves that the commercial bank has to keep with the RBI,
Okay,
central
so yes, absolutely correct. So then what about repo rate? Yes, Aman, what is repo rate?
Ma'am, repo rate is the interest rate at which commercial banks take loan from RBI by selling their
RBI,
securities.
exactly right. By basically pledging their securities, या उसको selling भी बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि फिर repurchase कर लेते हैं banks वापस जब उनके पास surplus funds होते हैं, तो RBI से वापस वो repurchase कर लेते हैं. Okay, what is the repo rate right now? Anyone? What is the repo rate? Yes, correct. It is 4% right now. So if a bank has to take a loan from RBI, say to meet the margin requirements, or it is facing some shortage of funds, so 4% is the rate that will be charged by RBI. And just the opposite of this concept is the reverse repo rate. Yes, who will explain what reverse repo is? Yes, Ayushi. Ayushi, what is reverse repo rate? Yes, Yuvraj, you wanted to answer this?
At which RBI borrows money from the commercial banks.
Yes, so yeah, that is what is the definition per se कि RBI borrow करता है commercial bank से at the reverse repo rate, but actual में this is the rate at which commercial banks they park their extra funds with RBI. Okay, so yes, definition wise both the definitions are correct. अगर commercial banks के पास extra funds हैं above the reserve requirements and they want to earn some extra rate of interest on that, then that is the reverse repo rate. आरबीआई के पास एक्स्ट्रा फंड्स अपने रख देते हैं. ओके, व्हाट अबाउट द रेट राइट नाउ? व्हाट इज द रिवर्स रेपो रेट? यस, absolutely correct. Good. 3.35% is the reverse repo rate. So these are four main policy rates which are decided by RBI, reviewed every time there is a revision of the monetary policy. Okay, apart from that, what else is RBI doing? It is supervising all the banks. जो भी न्यू बैंक्स इनकॉर्पोरेट होते हैं उनको लाइसेंस आरबीआई ही देता है. देन कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस. Corporate governance is ensuring proper functioning, transparent functioning of the banks. So, appointment of chairman, directors, independent directors, all this is handled, and it is basically supervised by RBI to ensure the customers' security with the bank. Interest of the customer should be secured by every bank. Then KYC norms. All of you are well aware of KYC. Whenever you go for opening of an account with a bank, then some norms are to be followed. Your identity proofs are required by RBI. So all this is laid by RBI. Then any transparency norms, what interest is the bank charging, and each and everything related to the banking services which are offered to the customer should be handled in a very transparent way. रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, बैंक्स का जो भी फंड्स होता है, how should those funds be managed by banks so as to mitigate their risk. So the Basel norms and जो आपके capital reserve asset ratio होती है, which I think we'll be covering in detail later. So ये सब जो भी नॉर्म्स होते हैं कि कितना रिस्क वेटेड एसेट्स में पैसा रखना चाहिए और कितना कैश में रखना चाहिए एंड ऑल, so that is decided and it is supervised by RBI. So RBI is ensuring proper functioning of the banking system in India, and it is the apex authority for that. So we come after RBI, we come to the next regulator, which is SEBI. So SEBI again, as already discussed, is the regulator of the financial markets. All of you are well aware of the fact that it was only in 1992, post the Harshad Mehta scam, that SEBI was made a statutory body. So though it was incorporated in 1988, it didn't have the required powers. प्रॉपर जो पावरफुल स्ट्रक्चर सेबी बना, इट वाज पोस्ट दी हर्षद मेहता स्कैम, बिकॉज वहां पर एक वॉइड आइडेंटिफाई हुआ कि प्रॉपर रेगुलेशन नहीं हो रही of the financial markets. Now everything today in the financial markets, uh, keeping in interest the investors, the intermediaries, and every participative body in the financial markets, SEBI is the sole regulatory authority. Grievances redressal जो भी होता है, जो भी rules regulations बनते हैं, unfair trade practices बैन होती हैं, अवॉइड होती है, everything is being managed by SEBI. Who's the chairman of SEBI right now? Yes, who's the chairman? Yes, Ajay Tyagi, Mr. Ajay Tyagi is the chairman of SEBI, and like RBI, the registered office, central office, head office of SEBI is in Mumbai. So coming to the organizational structure of SEBI, SEBI has been incorporated as under the Companies Act. So it is working as corporate sector, 5 departments, again director है, फिर executive directors हैं, and head office is in Mumbai, branch offices in the other 3 metropolitans, 2 advisory committees. Yes. Yeah, I'll discuss this case. We'll just wind up SEBI and then we'll talk about the fine of 40 CR imposed on Reliance Industries just a few days back. And let's discuss what that case was. Okay, so let me just wind up SEBI. It will take another 5 minutes and then we'll discuss this case. Okay, so talking about the surveillance of SEBI, what was the purpose and role of making it a statutory body? As I told you, it needs to keep in mind the interest of 3 parties: the issuer of securities, the investors, and the intermediaries involved. So, accordingly, it is regulating the activities of the stock exchange, protecting the right of the customers, creating information, distributing, disseminating information about the working of the markets in a transparent manner, laying down the code of conduct. So, if I talk about functions of SEBI, they are categorized into 3 main roles: the protective function, which is checking all the unfair trade practices, developmental functions, and regulatory functions. So, let's give a quick overview to each of the functions. Under the protective functions, SEBI needs to check price rigging. तो अभी जो हम रिलायंस का एग्जाम्पल डिस्कस करेंगे दैट वाज एक्चुअली रिलेटेड टू प्राइस रिगिंग. Okay, and it happened way back in 2007, and now SEBI has taken action against Reliance Industries and two other entities and has charged a hefty fine on them. So price rigging is artificial manipulation of the prices of the securities. Apart from that, it prohibits insider trading. No person who has key information, is an insider to a company, should misuse those powers to make profits and manipulate the prices in the share market. All fraudulent and unfair trade practices are prohibited. And then RBI, as I told you, dissemination of information, educating the investors. That is also a primary role of SEBI. इसके लिए investor awareness funds भी बनाया हुआ है SEBI ने. Then developmental functions, training of the intermediaries, promote activities of stock exchange in a transparent manner, flexible manner, internet trading. All this is part of how development in the trading process has taken place, how technology has been introduced, how there has been an ease in trading over the years. So all this development has been made by SEBI. एंड रेगुलेटरी में जो सुपरवाइजरी फंक्शंस हैं जहाँ पर कंपनीज का कंडक्ट फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स में अगर आपने पैसा रेस करना है तो उसके रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, इंटरमीडियरीज की जो फंक्शनिंग है उसके रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, all this is decided and laid down by SEBI. Okay, so with this, the first unit of your syllabus is over. So, just stopped.